This is Sunrise Extra, streaming live on Wave Now.
Hey, good morning. We've had some chilly mornings lately. I have to say the heat warmers in my car really already getting the work in.
Really?
Oh, I love it though. I love to just kind of feel nice and
sleepy
warm.
though.
And then I don't want to.
It makes me sleepy.
I don't want to get out of my car when I get here too. So yeah.
I blast the AC still right now. And
What?
Also, in the morning? Yes. Also, I'm much older than you two, so perspective there. Okay?
That's a choice there. See, but I'll keep my heat on.
Hot flashes on.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. That's fair all around. I'm the person who keeps the AC on, but also has the seat warmer on. So I feel like I'm in the middle of it all. But you know, whatever you got to do to keep yourself comfortable, do what you got to do. I understand. We're in the 50s and low 60s, and most spots 66 degrees now at the airport in Louisville. And this is the beautiful sunrise showing up on our SkyTrack camera. Notice those upper level clouds off towards our east. These are going to move our way as the day goes along. Already seeing that happening on our satellite and radar, and more of these upper level clouds will stream in as the day goes along, despite the fact that we're still going to watch your temperatures climbing well into the upper 80s and low 90s for later on this afternoon. So things still pretty pleasant for your Tuesday. The other thing that we'll have to watch, the air quality alert in place for those of you in southern Indiana and for the Louisville metro area. We have that in place, plus the higher levels of pollen across our region, that ragweed pollen. So things, while it might be pretty outside, it may be a better idea to stay inside with everything else going on, Rob.
All right, Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping our eye on the Snyder West at I-65. We have reports of a 4-car crash that started just before 6:30 this morning. Your traffic lights are backing up out there. Again, slow going the Snyder West at I-65. No reports of injuries at this point, but we're told that the right shoulders in that area are completely blocked off. So let the first responders get out there and certainly do their job. Otherwise, things are looking pretty smooth for your early morning. Meanwhile, Metro drivers, we want you to be mindful of some road work happening right now on I-65. The Kentucky Transportation Cabinet says it had to shut down 3 right lanes of 65 north. That's right near the outer loop off-ramp. Crews will be done with their work hopefully by noon on Wednesday. The right lane of the I-65 north ramp from I-265 east and westbound will also be closed during this time. Shannon.
Thank you. We want to get you an update on this breaking news story we've been following this morning. Scottsburg Fire and Rescue in Indiana is responding to a building fire there. Reports say the blaze is happening at 111 West Cherry Street. That's near Railroad Street. We know multiple crews are on the scene assisting the fire department there in Scottsburg, too. They're saying that this is going to be an active scene for several hours, and to avoid this area, we have a crew on the way. We'll get you updates as soon as we can. Louisville's leaders made a commitment to initiate reforms within the city and its police force.
On Monday, the community had the chance to hear from some of the people who could oversee that change. 2 firms, 21st Century Policing Solutions and Effective Law Enforcement for All, are the final 2 teams for the role of independent monitor. Both are national firms without locations in Louisville, but they have served as independent monitors in other U.S. cities with consent decrees. Whoever is chosen will be in charge of overseeing the city's self-imposed community commitment. One local leader believes the most impactful people to create the change, though, are the people who call this city home.
We are going to have to put faith in the community and not in someone that's coming into the community that says they're going to make the change. The change starts with us.
A recording of the meeting is available online for people who could not attend. There's also a survey available today so the community can give more input. Officials hope to have the independent monitor in place sometime this fall, and you can find a link to the survey on this story at our website, wave3.com.
Louisville's Metro Council is considering a moratorium on data centers. An ordinance will be discussed by the Planning and Zoning Committee today. The ordinance was proposed by Marcus Winkler. It would create a period where no new applications for telecommunication hotels or data centers would be considered until the Planning Commission can review the process and make recommended changes. The review is expected to take about 6 months. The discussion for the ordinance begins today at 1.
A man is recovering after he was shot in West Louisville. LMPD was called to South 24th and West Broadway just after 8 last night. That's near Alberta O. Jones Park. Officers are still working to confirm if the man was shot at that location or somewhere else. No arrests have been made yet in this case, so LMPD is asking for tips to help them find the shooter. Spencer County will send more officers to schools this morning after someone made a threat to campuses on social media. They say they became aware of the threat Monday afternoon around 4 o'clock. A post from Taylorsville police didn't add much context about the threat itself, but they did say it was made after a heated exchange about Charlie Kirk's murder. The Spencer County school system says their students' safety is their top priority. An Elizabethtown man died after an industrial workplace accident in central Kentucky. The Scott County coroner says this happened early Sunday morning at the International Crankshaft Auto Parts facility in Georgetown. The coroner's office confirmed 35-year-old Richard Thurman was killed while doing a maintenance check. Another person was rushed to the hospital, but not much information has been shared about that second victim's condition.
LMPD is investigating a string of violent crimes over a 3-day period, including a double shooting at the 800 building on South 4th Street. 2 men were injured. Police are still searching for their shooter. The violence started Saturday night around 8:45. Police say 3 people were shot in a drive-by in front of JJ's Food Mart on Dixie Highway. Then later off West Hill and 13th, a woman was shot. Early Sunday morning, an 18-year-old was shot in the leg near Sugar Ray's Lounge. In Valley Station, a woman was found inside a home with her throat cut, and she died before she could be taken to the hospital. And a man was found dead in his car near U of L Hospital. And this is Rachel Hughes. Family members say her body was found in the woods near the Shawnee Park boat ramp. Officers say Hughes had been shot multiple times, and we spoke with her relatives.
You never think that your kids will die that early, and she had a life to go on with, and the way it happened is it's so brutal.
LMPD has not made arrests in any of these cases. If you know anything that can help, contact police.
A memorial on U of L's campus called for healing in the wake of conservative influencer Charlie Kirk's assassination. U of L's college Republicans invited other groups and city leaders to the vigil in front of Grawemeyer Hall on Monday night. The hosting group also said all faiths and affiliations were welcome. Those at the vigil say they want everyone to do their part in ending political violence nationwide.
We meet here tonight because a hate-filled heart pulled a trigger. But we know that speech and debate are essential to our republic. As Charlie Kirk often said, when people stop talking, that's when you get violence, because you start to think the other side is evil.
Kirk's public memorial service is scheduled for Sunday at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona.
Happening tomorrow, 2 men convicted for Crystal Rogers' death will learn how long they'll stay in prison, as the Commonwealth has asked a judge to deny the request for a new trial. This summer, a Warren County jury found Brooks Houck and Joseph Lawson guilty in Rogers' 2015 disappearance and presumed death. Houck, who was Rogers' boyfriend when she vanished, and Lawson were both supposed to be sentenced August 21st, but the court agreed to delay that date because Lawson was dealing with serious health issues. Now, tomorrow we may learn if both men will get the jury's recommended punishment. That's life in prison for Houck and 25 years for Lawson.
Also happening tomorrow, Metro leaders want your thoughts on what to do with the now unused Givaudan site in Clifton. The explosion killed 2 employees and injured 11 others last November. Givaudan agreed to not rebuild on the property, so leaders now hope neighbors will offer ideas on a future project. The Metro's listening session is tomorrow at 6 p.m. inside United Crescent Hill Ministries on State Street.
The Clark County, Indiana school superintendent now says a new state tax amendment will put his district in a financial crunch.
Now the district is looking at potential plans to raise additional funds for the fast-growing district. Web News reporter Rob Wells is here with the details. Rob?
Yeah, Olivia, the superintendent tells me the district has nearly 11,000 students. That's pre-K through 12, 16 buildings and several construction projects going on right now. But he says Indiana Senate Bill 1, which became law in April, has hurt the district. The bill overhauls the state's property tax system to provide billions in dollars in tax relief to homeowners. That includes a 10% credit capped at $300. Educators, though, raise concerns that reduction in property tax revenue could hurt funding for public schools and other services like local police and fire departments. The Clark County superintendent says he's got a total budget right now of $207 million to work with, including $85 million in the education fund. But tonight, he says, a look ahead to what the district may be facing.
We're concerned that Senate Bill 1, the restrictions that they're putting on us, it's going to be very hard for us to keep up with that growth moving forward without trying to do a referendum, down the road. And frankly, as a district, as a superintendent, I really don't want to have to do a referendum.
He said while no tax hikes will be on the ballot this year, that could change. The chief financial officer says that the district is preparing for budget challenges, the district aiming for a higher rate with new construction projects. Back over to you.
Thanks, Rob. Coming up, Racing Louisville star Savannah DeMello still recovering after suffering a medical emergency on the field over the weekend. What she is now saying after the break. Good news, Racing Louisville has released a statement saying midfielder Savannah DeMello is awake and in good spirits one day after experiencing a medical emergency on the field during a game at the Seattle Reign.
In the 45th minute, right before halftime, she had a medical emergency on the field. She sat down on the field before collapsing. Her teammates were visibly distraught, and so were her competitors. DeMello was also removed from a game by medical professionals back in March, and it's important to note that she does have Graves' disease and hyperthyroidism. DeMello Cielo released a statement herself saying, quote, "I'm lucky to have my family with me while I'm waiting for test results to come back." Then later saying, quote, "The support from everyone has truly meant the world to me, and I'm excited to cheer the girls on this week." The game against Seattle has been rescheduled for today. That game will take place at Lumen Field at 8 p.m. They'll start right where the game was abandoned at the start of the second half. That game will also be played behind closed doors, meaning no fans will be there. You can watch the game, though, as it'll be streamed on NWSL Plus or Paramount Plus.
The Battle of the Bluegrass is hitting the hardwood this week in a top 10 matchup as third-ranked U of L women's volleyball looks to extend its 4-game win streak against their rival, 6th-ranked Kentucky. Both teams coming in on winning streaks. U of L has won 3 in a row, and the Cats have won 2 in a row. First-year Cards head coach Dan Meskey's been with the program since 2017. He says winning the match can propel the team heading into league play.
Kentucky, since I've been here in 2017, has always been locked into the last weekend of our pre-conference, the last weekend that we really control our schedule. And for them to be as well coached as they are and what a great team they are, it really helps us moving into the ACC because the ACC is so tough.
You can watch that match in Wave Country because it's going to be played at the KFC Yum Center on Thursday night at 6 p.m.
Always such an exciting matchup, but even more so now, both top 10 programs.
Just awesome. Yes. I think you're supposed to be over here.
I am, but I'm missing you. I'm sorry. I entirely forgot. 2, it's Monday 2.0. 3, I need coffee. I definitely thought about it and forgot. Sorry, y'all. We're watching this area of low pressure off towards our east. It's bringing some rain anywhere from D.C. down into portions of the Carolinas. However, it's going to be bringing clouds our way as it starts to push a little bit further to the west, retrograding into our area. But in terms of rainfall, we're not expecting a whole lot from this system as of right now. What we are going to watch, though, more of those clouds streaming in. Already seeing some upper level clouds moving our way in our SkyTrack camera over downtown Louisville. So still a pretty sunrise out there as your temperatures are in the upper 50s and the low 60s across our region. As we head over the next 12 hours, we do look to return to those upper 80s and low 90s for highs with those clouds continuing to increase. Keep in mind, yes, we are going to be watching for how thick some of these upper level clouds are through the afternoon because that will dictate how warm you'll get for later on today. The other thing that we'll monitor will be the air quality. As temperatures climb to near 90, that really tends to degrade the air quality across our region. So we'll keep an eye on that trend. If you have anything from COPD to emphysema to asthma, you really want to be extra careful, especially this afternoon. The air quality alert is in place for those of you in southern Indiana and in the Louisville metro. For tonight, we are going to return to the 50s and low 60s for your lows. Here's your 10-day. We have a lot going on as we head throughout this week in terms of events across our region. And thankfully for the weekdays, we are going to stay on the drier side as temperatures climb into the low 90s for your Thursday and Friday. But we're still watching the weekend very closely as a low moves towards us. We have isolated rain chances for Saturday and Sunday. They'll be just that, isolated. Most of us will stay dry through the weekend with that heat in the forecast. And then towards next Monday and Tuesday, this is when the rain chances really go up. But even then, still looking pretty scattered. So a lot of us may be missed by this next system moving through wave country. And then once we get towards next Wednesday and Thursday, yes, we'll see some cooler temperatures. And yes, we'll watch for some still isolated to scattered rain chances in our forecast.
Thanks, Tawana. Well, this weekend, something really fun that's going to happen on Saturday. It's a parade, fire trucks, some really vintage ones too, and a community celebration in store in southern Indiana.
It's part of the annual Jeffersonville Annual Muster. So if you don't know what a muster is, it's a firefighter celebration for displaying equipment and skills, and that's exactly what they're doing this morning. Wave News reporter Kirsten Foote joining us live from Jeffersonville with a preview. You've already showed us some pretty cool stuff, Kirsten.
Yeah, guys, it's going to be such a fun celebration here, and I'm rejoined by the whole gang here with the Vintage Fire Museum in Jeffersonville, Indiana. And Kurt, just tell us a little bit about the muster and what people can expect to see.
Well, first of all, just want to invite everybody. It's for all ages. It's a celebration time, and lots of things to see and do for all ages. And Mike's going to say a little bit.
At 10 a.m. we start. Come see us and visit us. 11 o'clock is the parade around Jeffersonville. We will have all the fire engines around to come take a look at. We'll have the food. The games will be starting, and come join us. And then at 2 o'clock, the vintage engines will go down to the riverfront, and we'll be flowing some water.
Awesome. And these are some cool vintage engines here, behind us. And Mike, you are the expert here. He knows everything. You got to come here. You got to ask him some questions. And all this fun stuff that's behind us here, it comes from donations, and donations help you guys continue to expand. So, Dick, you guys are going to be having a new building just next door to here. What do people need to know about that new building?
Yes, it's stop by and see it when you're out for the muster. It's doubling the size of the museum, and there'll be new equipment in there, and it'll be grand.
Yeah, and there's so much to do, so much to learn here. Just what has it been like to, for you, Mike, just to educate people about the history of firefighting?
I just love teaching people about the history, where it started, and how it's worked through all the years. And that's a big thing, as I've always been a history buff, and just teaching everybody everything I can. And I try to just get every bit of that into all the knowledge I can.
Absolutely. All you guys are awesome here. Made the morning so much fun. So again, it's a very visual museum here. So you come in, you literally get to see the history of firefighting progress. And of course, you don't want to miss the muster on September 20th down here at 10 a.m. in Jeffersonville. Shannon and Olivia, back to you guys.
Absolutely. Thank you, Kirsten. All tickets for the 2026 soccer season are on sale right now. We can tell you about that sweet deal you can get when you buy those tickets coming up.
Tickets for 2026's Lou City and Racing Louisville seasons are on sale now.
And if you buy the package, you can get complimentary admission to the rest of this year's regular season home games. The free Games Now offer adds value to tickets that start at just $13 per game. It also includes more membership benefits. You can get that offer by going to the Lynn Family Stadium website at lynnfamilystadium.com. Ahead of its 15th anniversary, there's a plan to improve the KFC Yum Center for years to come.
The Louisville Arena Authority has developed a plan to make the Yum Center a premier destination for sports, entertainment, and community events. Some of the areas city officials are focusing on are improving guest experiences, changing the way they use certain spaces, and finding new events and programs to have at the venue. The city is working with Forward Associates to kick it off. They've toured parts of the city to get a sense of what works, what is missing, and what to improve on.
Anytime you enter one of these and you bring someone in to help you, you've done a lot of other arenas. What you don't want, or I think what we don't want, is somebody, trying to replicate, their cookie cutter model relative to arenas, and the fact that Forward is saying they want this to be very much a Louisville, Kentucky, Southern Indiana, have that feel and be a somewhat of a showplace for our region has been very exciting.
The Yum Center wants to hear from you, too. A study launched yesterday requesting input from fans, the community, and event partners. And this feedback will then be used to help the visioning phase through the end of the year. And Dutch Bros and the Dutch Bros Foundation are teaming up with customers for its annual Buck for Kids event. For every drink sold, $1 will be donated to organizations in the community. It's happening this Friday from 5 a.m. until 11 p.m. at the Dutch Bros Coffee Shop on Taylorsville Road. This year's nonprofit partners include Ronald McDonald House Charities, Big Brothers Big Sisters, Make-A-Wish, Special Olympics, and more.
Good excuse to check out the new Dutch Bros.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's one in Indiana too now. So, hey, get out there for great things about the coffee.
I know. I haven't tried it yet. Okay, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
This Wave News Update is sponsored by Oxmoor Auto Group.
Good morning. It's 7:26, and we've been staying on top of breaking news all morning. The Scottsburg Fire Department is still working on a structure fire. It's on West Cherry Street. Crews responded to that fire at National Apartments around 2:30 this morning. They had to evacuate people. Officials say the building was a manufacturing building that had been converted into apartments. They say a partial wall collapsed. That forced the firefighters to evacuate the building, making it really hard for them to get back in to fight those flames. These are live images you're looking at right here. You still see an immense amount of smoke. They said that they'd be working on this for several hours. No injuries were reported. Let's go to meteorologist Tawana Andrew. How's the weather for today?
The weather's looking good, and good news for those crews. At least you're not battling any strong winds or any crazy weather for this morning. But what we are seeing, some of these upper level clouds continuing to stream into our region, seeing them showing up as well on our SkyTrack camera. But still a beautiful morning out there. Your temperatures are in the upper 50s and low 60s outside of the metro. In the metro, more of those low to mid 60s to start off the day. Over the next 12 hours, here's what we're looking at. Those temperatures returning to near 90 degrees this afternoon as those clouds increase across our area. In terms of any rain chances, those still will look pretty low. And don't forget, we still have that air quality alert in place for areas along and north of 64 as we continue throughout the rest of the day. Rob?
Tawana, thanks so much. Keeping our eye on. This is I-64 approaching Cannons Lane. We have a report about 20 minutes ago of a two-car crash in that area, so that is affecting the right lanes and shoulders as emergency crews do what they need to do to clean up that area. No reports on any type of injuries as of right now. We'll keep an eye on this throughout the morning. Otherwise, we'll send it back to the Today Show.